You're tuning in to Past Our Prime, a show powered by SquadLocker.
Here are your hosts, retired Astros minor league star Tip Fairchild and former Patriots All-Pro center Dan Copen.
Where do I put my hands? I don't know.
I always touch the mic, and I gotta stop. I'm gonna stop.
You touch the mic more than.
But then what do I do with my hands?
Yeah,
like
that's
you
why
just said.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hold them like this, or I don't know.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right.
Go.
Episode 34, Past Our Prime, as always, powered by SquadLocker, and let's just get right into it. I'm going to congratulate someone right now on a tremendous weekend they have. This is Quintessence President's Cup winner, Ralph Windell, who was able to put together 2 spectacular rounds and win in a playoff to none other than Tip Fairchild. Yeah. So we're looking at the second place person, and Ralph Windell,
first loser.
Extra medication last night.
Would be the President's Cup champion that took place yesterday at Quintessence Country Club. So how are you feeling?
Congrats to Ralph. I am feeling, we haven't talked about this yet on purpose because all I wanted to do was talk to Dan about this last night, and I was like, let's save it for the podcast.
All I know is you lost on hole number 1, playoff hole number 1.
Sudden death. Yep.
Lost.
Sudden death. So
you're touching the mic.
Shit. It's a nervous twitch. President's Cup is stroke play event.
Just hit the mic.
Medal round. So it's a 2 18-hole stroke play event, right? So 36 holes, and then it's a handicapped event. So you are using your course handicap. Difference is in the club championship, you don't use a handicap.
Got it.
Okay,
I understand.
So
I think everybody understands.
I'm laying that out there for the listeners.
Good job explaining.
I'm a 3 handicap, so the listeners know right now. Coming down a lot since I started using visualization techniques from Kevin Chapman, Dr. Kevin Chapman, that we had as a guest.
I will not say you're not playing well.
Also, I'm drinking the matcha. The green matcha.
Matcha. He said it wrong first, though. Matcha.
It's a different kind of buzz. I feel great on it. It feels like I've been having it. I feel awesome. And my weekend, my rounds, I shot.
Why are you drinking matcha now? Just because Dr. Chapman told you to?
If anybody tells me anything that might help me,
now I'm sort of getting you. Like, now I know why, like, social media, like, ads are pointed directly towards you. Because you're the guy that's going to buy it. Like, you're not kidding. It's like, oh, I saw this on the internet. I bought it.
Oh, yeah. It's like,
someone mentioned matcha. I drink it.
I've had 10. Yep,
Dan, I'm a matcha guy now, too.
Are you really? Oh, my God.
It takes forever to drink it. That's why, because it's actually not good.
Guys need to be leaders, not followers, people.
No, but, like, that's true. That is true, Dan. I know what you mean with that. But it's delicious. So, anyway, I go out. I fire a 75 on Saturday. It's beautiful conditions, 3 over. Played really well, but left a couple out there, but that's my game. By the way, right on my handicap, right? Par 72, shot a 75. Go out yesterday, howling wind, tough conditions, fire a 74 for a net 1 under, right? Get in the barn. I'm the second to last group. I'm like, I played pretty well, and this is tough out here today. Get in, look at the board, Ralph Windell, 1 under par. Okay.
Combined rounds, right?
Combined rounds.
Okay.
Yep. So he played, I think he's a 14, 15, 16 handicap, somewhere in there.
So
right?
He shot, what, 86, 87?
Yeah, so, great round. And this is ball in the hole, like, no gimmies, like, real golf here, right? So, plays a great round. Then he's like, hey, we're going to a playoff. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Let's do this.
This is where I show up in playoffs. This is where I don't lose. This is where it's time, right? I get out there. First hole.
Did you go to the driving range?
Oh, no, straight out. I finished up, and the last group was behind us, and boom, it was gone. It was like they were right in on our butt. So, go out right to the first hole. Got a bunch of carts following. I love that shit. Turn it on. I love the crowd. I feed off the energy. Throw the peg in the ground. Ralph goes first. Hits the ball in the bunker on the left side. I'm like, okay, Game on. I'm going to slaughter a driver out here right now.
Did you visualize it?
I visualized it, and
Did you shut your eyes? Like
I visualized. Oh, yeah. I shut my eyes on every shot. Since Dr. Chapman told me to do that. And
since your therapist told you to do that.
I haven't shot over 75 since then. So I'm telling you, like, it's a beautiful thing. So get up there, wind's blowing hard, in our face, a little bit to the right. I shove a drive a little bit, just a little bit, gets in the rough, and down that right-hand side of Quinnesset, if you know the first hole, there's all this tree line. I blow it through all that. I get behind this one stupid pine tree. And I'm far enough behind it that I can bomb something over it.
Yeah.
But I can't get to the green because I got to hit a 60-degree wedge. Yep. Ralph hits a great shot out of the bunker. This is the play-by-play. I'm going. He's getting a stroke, by the way. Mm-hmm. He's getting a stroke. So I know I got to fight it off. I take a 60-degree wedge out, and I rip one. I'm like 125 out, but I put everything into it. I can't hit it 125. I only hit it probably like 110. Over the tree, no problem. End up having a little chip. Been chipping the ball lights out. Literally lights out for a month now, to where it's like up and down city. I'm so mad at myself right now. I wanted to tear this up. I'm just waiting for an explosion right now. I wanted to tear this up last night so bad. So I get on this chip. Ralph, I'm chipping first. Ralph's up a tiny bit higher than me. Got the wedge out. I'm uphill. It's like this is. I'm throwing this inside of a bucket up there. I get on it a little bit heavy. I leave myself like 12 feet.
Oh,
so for par, yeah. Right? So Ralph kind of dubs his chip. I'm like, okay, you know, the crowd surrounding the first hole, the excitement is up, everybody's a little nervous. Dubs his first chip a little bit, and then has a long putt. And
so what's he lying to?
That was his third shot.
He put his second shot in the bunker?
No, his first shot was in the bunker. Second shot was up to the front of the green.
The bunker on the left?
Yeah, the bunker on the left. You know the bunker on the left?
Yeah. I usually go over it, though.
Yeah, I mean...
You go way right. You prefer way right.
I prefer either way right or I prefer deep, like bombing the ball. So he chips up, kind of dubs it, and then he hits a putt, long putt, about 4 or 5 feet past the hole. So he's putting back for a 5.
Mm-hmm. Downhill,
5 for
downhill,
4,
fast putt,
and it's a 5 for 4.
Yep.
I look at this putt that I have. I'm like, I got this. I'm gonna make this, and I gotta make it basically. Just missing on the bottom side. Don't hit it hard enough. Freaking Sally ass. Like, I was so mad at myself. At that point, I went and grabbed the pin. Grabbed the pin. You're like, Sally ass? I don't know where that came from.
I don't know what.
I grabbed the pin. I take my hat off because I'm just basically like, I know he's going to make this. And like, way to go, Tip. Like, this is a really tough event to win for a low handicap. And it's one that I don't have yet. And I already have the 4 ball this year. I wanted this. And I'm pissed right now that I don't have it. Oh, I was thinking last night, I thought of every shot the entire weekend. There wasn't that many mental mistakes. I'm so frustrated by it. Anyway, I tap in for 5.
This is a very, very descriptive.
I'm getting deep. I get up there, take my hat off. Ralph has a 5-footer down the hill, makes it, pours it in the back of the cup. Boom, fucking Ralph is the President's Cup champ.
Congratulations.
Great guy, by the way.
Congratulations, Ralph.
Great guy.
You could not have beaten a better guy. And the fact that
I couldn't have beaten a better.
No, I'm saying, I mean, right now,
yeah,
the way you were going into the weekend and all that stuff. Trust me, I wanted you to win, but it is kind of more fun to see you lose right now.
Son of a! There's a picture on Twitter. I sent it to Dan. There's Ralph standing there with a flag. I'm like, son of a bitch.
He also kicks your ass on the bike too.
Yeah, that's what you said on the bike. I don't think so. Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe he's like hidden like Peloton rider.
Maybe he's behind.
Here's what Ralph did though. Great guy. So you shake everybody's hands after. You know, there's a bunch of people around the green. Hey, you know, tough one. I'm like, yeah, I know. I just made 25 pars in a row basically, and then bogey the first hole in the playoffs. Unbelievable. But Ralph was like, hey, I'm gonna go in. Let's go spin the table. So we go in there. Ralph bought me 3 or 4 beers. To cool off the jets a little bit. All I could think about was Tom Cruise in Top Gun when he's like, yo, bartender. You're gonna put out this flame or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And then I felt good about it. I left, went and had dinner. Last night, though, I was stirring in my sleep. I was stirring, Dan. Like, I could picture every shot, every single thing, every little putt that maybe I didn't make or just a little bit better shot here or there. There wouldn't have been a tie. And we would have been talking about I wouldn't have been able.
Yeah, but that's why
I wouldn't have been able to fit through the door today if I would have had four ball on the net.
That's true. Another gold paint event. You're going up on the plate. Yeah,
it would have been tough.
Your head would have been huge.
Yeah, but congrats to Ralph, to the rest of the guys in there. I forgot to mention.
I'm surprised you sat down.
No, I do. Oh, I'm a gentleman.
That's very big of you.
Oh, absolutely. I
lost our 4-ball, it was like, hey, do you want? No, we lost what, 3-2 or 4-3, and we were on 15, so it was probably 4-3. They were like, hey, we're going to finish the round. Do you guys want to do it? I was like, absolutely not.
No, absolutely not.
I'm going back to the clubhouse right now. I'm going to get a beer. I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Calm down. The last person I want to see right now is the person that just kicked my ass.
I feel like that too, and then I look at like life overall, and I'm like, if I beat somebody or if they beat me, it's the right thing to do to, like, if you have time. You might not have time.
I don't think I had time.
So it's like, let's have a beer. You want to buy me a beer? Let's go have a beer.
You owe me a beer.
We were like, did I want at one point to like rip arms off and mercifully beat to death Ralph? Sorry, Ralph. For a moment, but then you go, no, this person's a good person. What the hell? They just beat me. I lost that hole.
No, Ralph beat you.
Ralph beat me, and I lost it. Like, absolutely, he needs to win that. No question asked.
I gotcha.
So he bought me some beers.
President's Cup champion bought him a beer.
He definitely lost
Bought you a beer.
Oh, I definitely lost it. I did, but I tell you, I did get in the car. First of all, I was at the table with. We didn't mention Jeff Barba in the last one. That he was the unnamed person. I said he's a handicap committee guy, and he's got some paint up there. I don't know what he has, but he's got some paint. He was there. A bunch of people were there. I got in the car when I left, though. Oh man, I left. I started driving, and it was the first time I was by myself. Because like everybody's unracking clubs and coming up to you like, hey, like, way to play this weekend, like unbelievable, blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate all that. Everybody, amazing guys.
I really do appreciate. I like it a lot.
Keep telling me I'm playing great. Please keep the positive going into me. I started driving down that little private road right there. Oh. I just hammered the gas just to like give the engine thing, and I just let out a monstrous F-bomb, like where my throat still hurts a little. It was just like like a loud scream. Once I did that, I felt better. So I probably though need to set an appointment with Dr. Kevin Chapman.
You might need to talk to him this week.
I need to talk to Doc because I hate losing. Especially when there's nothing worse than losing when you're that close. Like if I was 10 back, I'd be like, in my head, I'd be like, yeah, low handicapper shouldn't win this thing anyway. But when you're right there, when you're tied and you got to go win a playoff hole just to take paint, that hurts. Yeah. It's a kick right in the balls.
You're what, 50% now in playoff holes?
Did you have a playoff? I've lost. No, 50% playoff holes. Yeah, 50%. I mean, it's good percentage, but it would have been nice to have them paint.
Well, congratulations, sure. Ralph. You deserve
Ralph,
it.
Big W.
President's Cup. We got Mike Giardi coming up. Yep. That was a good story.
Yeah, I just am
just an average Joe trying to go out there and win a tournament and play like an amateur when it counts. That sounds like a plan. We're going to kind of get into like the NFL season preview. We got Mike Giardi coming up, who is an NFL reporter for NFL Network. You can follow him at Mike Giardi for Twitter and everything. So we got a lot of good stuff to talk to him.
Tons. Olympics are on.
He's a very smart guy.
We didn't talk Olympics with him. He had.
You know what?
He scoops. He's Mikey Scoops. That's what we should call him.
It might be Scoops.
Mikey Scoops. He's got stories.
I was thinking about this the other day, and you've talked about how much you like going to training camp for baseball.
Oh, because
it was the complete opposite for football.
We've talked about that.
Complete opposite. But I always liked the smell of grass as a kid. Right, my dad worked for John Deere for a long time. Loved the smell of grass,
fresh cut grass. Maybe after a thunderstorm.
Perfect. Yeah, but I don't even know if it gets any better.
Can you get a candle that smells like that?
Why not?
Can a listener send us a candle, a grass smelling candle, please? Thank you.
Maybe after a thunderstorm. Let's just get really detailed with what we're looking for.
It's Yankee Candle, cut grass an hour after a thunderstorm.
Yes, and could you put green and yellow for John Deere colors on there too? Probably.
Yep.
But there was a time there. Like the smell of grass, that smell I loved as a kid would make me puke almost.
Really?
Yeah, because I just remember those days in late July and
Doing
August.
up downs,
or your body hurts so much because you're getting used to the pads, then you're getting used to the hitting, and you're 5 days in, and you have like 5 more days of doubles in a row, and you're just going through this process, which is necessary to play the game. Not saying you don't want to do it, but it is a hard sport to practice. And then you get to like mid-June when minicamp's done. You get a couple weeks where you don't think about it, but then July 4th hits, and it's all you think about. You know what's coming in 3 weeks. And it starts with a conditioning test, which bigger guys don't really like. Always passed it, never a problem. But I would lie awake, sleepless, just thinking about, I got to run the conditioning test in 2 weeks. I got to run the conditioning test in 1 week. It's never ending, like, mental torture.
Not to mention, you told me that
I'm glad I don't have it because I love the smell of grass again.
Yeah.
Now we're good.
Back to the grass.
I don't have to worry about that anymore.
You did tell me that you were sore this weekend, and I asked from what, expecting Dan to say like the Peloton or something. He told me he's sore from playing cornhole, Max.
I too competed this weekend, Max. I don't know what the hell I'm sore from. My hip hurts.
Your hip hurts from playing cornhole.
I don't know what it is. I'm trying to think back of what I did. I played a lot of cornhole yesterday.
And that's what it might be?
I, on the other hand, came in first place.
Just gonna ask.
Yeah, I knew you were going there, Max. I knew you were going there, Max. No, I did not come in second. Ralph Windell did not beat me.
If Ralph plays bags, I'm sure he's good. He'll come.
He's on
dethrone you.
I don't know what it is. I got aches and pains now. I'm 41.
We're getting old. You're on vacation, Max, but you came in graciously to press record. What is that? A high noon?
Are you drinking?
Vacation.
You really are.
A White Claw. Look at
He's
Max.
on vacation.
Yeah, he's feeling good about himself. I like that. Nice. And then
that's a nice tea one. Is it good?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, no free ads, but it's something that rhymes with bite.
No free ads.
Bite raw.
Did you really say no free ads? You and your new bike gang, and the only thing you talk about is a bike. You said no free ads.
No free ads.
Who
here.
is this guy?
No free ads today. Last thing, the Olympics are on. We're watching that.
Are you watching it?
Yeah, I watch it. It's background TV for me because I like the swimming. I like the stuff. I like competing. I like races. I never really look at the person. Guess who you don't remember? The person who finished second.
That's true. Nobody's going to remember that guy next year.
Nobody's going to remember that.
Hey, who did Ralph beat in the President's Cup?
I know. No one's going to remember that. Not even close. Son of a bitch. All right, so Olympics are on. USA basketball stinks. I don't know what's going on with that. It's crazy. Also, the softball was on, and they're playing on a baseball field. Wild to watch.
Yeah, but did you hear
can't
this?
be good.
Someone told me this
And
too.
they're undefeated.
Softball, yeah, they have a temporary fence in the outfield
and they're
in a
running-
major league stadium.
Running on the grass. Well, it's fake grass.
Can someone tell me what isn't an Olympic sport now, too? Because by the way, I don't think softball is a sport in 2024.
No, it was.
No, coming up.
Coming up, they're taking it out?
In the next Olympics, I don't think it's a sport
Maybe
anymore.
they're taking it out.
I know it's not a sport, but it's not an Olympic sport.
You know what's
I don't
funny?
get it.
You know what the first medal was in the Olympics this year? 10-meter airsoft rifle shooting.
I saw that.
I couldn't have laughed harder.
Can they not shoot a real gun?
10-meter airsoft
Don't they have those?
rifle.
They have the skeet shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Give me like
Shoot your eye out, kid.
Give me like 6 months. I mean,
we do have archery.
Can we be airsoft like professionals? Well, I guess not professional, like Olympians. Dan, I don't know. That was a crazy one. Also, netball. Have you seen netball?
No.
There's no backboard. It's basketball with just a circle hoop.
Stop it.
I'm not kidding.
No,
it's
no.
wild.
Huge in
All right.
Australia.
Next
Why
week,
is that
next
so
week,
big?
let's do some research and just come in with the stupidest Olympic Games.
That's what we'll do. We'll do Olympic Games next week. We'll get into it deeper. I like that. So
the dumbest games that are out there because I think netball might win.
It's a wild sport, or airsoft shooting in the Olympics for a medal. But
Okay.
Was it race walking one? And
Race walking's real though. Race walking's real.
Race walking is actually hilarious to
Yeah,
watch.
it's hard too. It's
I
hard.
mean, because
you have
rules
to keep
too.
it-
There's a lot of rules.
like a
This isn't
portion of your
Nam-Donnie.
foot.
There are rules.
portion of your foot has to be on the track or something. Those people fly. Nothing's worse so than watching people run like the long distances, and that actually nothing's better, I should say. When everybody collapses or like can't finish the race and their like muscles are just gone at the finish line, they have to like roll over the finish line. That's chaos. Who puts himself through that?
That's you at the first playoff hole.
Yeah. Tripping over. There's a lot. This was not. You know what?
This is gonna. I mean,
next weekend.
This is a gift that keeps giving all year long.
There's nothing coming up this next weekend. The weekend after that, though, is club championship, and then the weekend after that's a four day. So,
boy, you got a good golf schedule coming up.
It's coming, and it's gonna give me opportunity to redeem myself. And if anybody watched my Instagram story this morning or the Past Our Prime one that that was reposted, I'm in training mode. I did just eat a baguette from Panera Bread, but I am in full-fledged training mode and lifting weights again, riding the bike hard, and also bought some shorts, 2-inch inseam from SquadLocker on the Team Early AF site. I put them in there.
2-inch inseam?
Can't wear anything shorter. Can't believe, Dan, you know what's hilarious about it? First of all, we have 90,000 SKUs at SquadLocker, www.squadlocker.com/suitup. You can build a store that you can put basically anything, including Under Armour kick split shorts.
2-inch inseam.
2-inch inseam. I sat on the bike, Dan. I sat on the bike. There wasn't fabric underneath my bum. It was just skin. My skin was on the seat. They're so short.
And you had something hanging out probably on the side.
It wasn't pleasant. It was just like, there was not a lot of fabric there, but they are so comfortable though because they're super loose. God. So I'll get you a pair.
No, I really don't want a pair.
Can you imagine?
I think 7 inches inseam is the shortest I can go.
I don't know. 2.5.
Why don't you take a picture and post it? Let's see.
We're not. It's not safe for work. Not safe for work on that one for sure. Oh, you just grab my hand.
I don't even know.
Touched my hand.
Did you keep your hands on the mic?
I haven't done much. I haven't done much mic grabbing. So, but Ralph Windell definitely dropped the mic.
You saying you're back? I'm back. All right, that speaks to me like a challenge now. And let's do it for real because we didn't do it last time.
What's this?
This is a weight loss challenge now.
Oh,
let's do it. Let's do it for real.
Danny challenges. Let's do it. Why are you feeling heavy today?
Oh, I feel like I've
260.
I did not have the best week last week, and then it came off of a weekend where it's summer. It's a lot of barbecuing.
I can't wait for this.
There's some high life drinking, which I'm going to try and cut out.
Okay, so here we go, kids.
I think we should
challenge
do that.
2 coming up. What's the challenge though? What's
I don't know. I mean,
okay, so we'll come up with something. It's got to be bad.
Yeah,
it's got to be bad. Like we're going to survey people.
We'll have a brainstorming meeting.
Okay.
This week to
weight
think of
loss,
some ideas, and we can put it out to the primers as well.
I think it should be like you have to run a marathon.
Oh God,
half marathon.
I just saw people run 10 miles, and I wanted to puke. And I didn't
was
even
a
do
hot
it.
day too.
No, it was a great day actually.
Wasn't it hot?
Oh, it was hot. It was a little bit warm in the beginning, but then we had a
Blessing
storm.
of the fleet.
Yeah, we had a storm come through, cooled everything off. It was a really good day for them to run.
All right. Well,
some of those guys came in like 50 minutes, 10 miles. They were just flying.
Maybe we don't want to run.
I don't think I want to run.
Okay, we'll come up with something. But what's the? Or do we want to wait this out and figure out?
We plan it out this week.
Percentage loss,
and it will be percentage loss.
I'm gonna gear up. I'm gonna just crush food. I'm gonna go to Panda Express right now.
Then maybe we should weigh in closer because I don't want you cheating.
Oh,
you're just coming off a second place.
I know.
So I know you've got to get back on track.
Well, I do have to get on track right now because I'm feeling 10 pounds heavy.
And you've only got 363 more days till the next President's Cup. You have no time to waste.
I know. I got to get on it. That's what the post is about. So, Max, I'm
all right,
I'm gonna need some type of a weight loss counselor during this though. So I'm gonna have to bring in resources.
Dr. Chapman.
To help me. We're going to work through this. All right,
let's talk to Giardi and
congrats, Ralph, again.
Congrats to Ralph. Joining us now is Mike Giardi. He is a reporter for the NFL Network and regularly is on Total Access and Game Day, Good Morning, and Up to the Minute. What is Up to the Minute?
Up to the Minute is now NFL Now. They changed the name.
Oh, okay.
That's like
NFL Now is a better name than Up to the Minute.
Yeah. That's from 1 to 3 usually during the weekdays.
All right, because I never heard of that before. He was a former colleague of mine, by the way.
Oh, a former colleague.
Yes.
Nice.
And I love the fact that, just did like on your bio on NFL Network, I just want you to know, do you know it says that Patriots Monday was routinely their top-rated show, and that was a show that we co-hosted together.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys have the chemistry, and look at the background. Like, I feel like I'm actually watching NFL Network right now, right?
Yeah,
like, you know, with the perfect shelf placement and the pictures. Dan and I just throw shirts on the wall.
Well, you guys got to, if you guys could, if I could turn the camera the other way, you would see what a debacle this room is. This is the basement. Yeah. This is the man cave, which really, when I say man cave, it's my son's video game room, basically. Mm-hmm. So there's posters and paintings all over the place of football players, and there's just crap everywhere. I mean, everywhere.
Well, do you have a ring light like us? We have a ring light.
The ring light. You gotta have the ring light.
Oh, see, pros. They use the ring light.
You've been doing this Zoom interview for a long time. You're used to it, but I just want to check on you personally because I know you're a huge germaphobe.
Oh yeah.
How did you handle COVID?
It was pretty brutal. You know, like we didn't have to. So because of COVID and because of concerns, especially during the football season, you know, because we were still sort of really smack dab in the middle of it, we were given the option about whether or not we wanted to get on planes. And I tapped out of planes, and I said, I will drive 12 hours. I will drive 14 hours to cover a game, but I'm not getting on a plane. So I drove. I brought my air purifier with me. I had all my wipes with me. I had all my gels with me. I had like 17 different masks. I think I had gloves at one point. So, yeah, I mean, it's
like, mentally, that must have been exhausting.
Yeah, for sure. And look, if I could have just put a hazmat suit on, if I had one of those, I would have done it. I definitely would have done it.
I never even really thought about that. It amplified this.
He's a guy
level,
constantly
right?
washing his hands. You know, I don't do that.
Got the squirt bottle on the backpack. The squirt bottle of
hand sanitizer everywhere before COVID.
Well, like the handshaking thing, can we just put that to rest? Can we not do that anymore?
I thought that was going to happen, and it didn't happen.
No,
like every day I'm like meeting somebody, and it's like, hey, how are you doing? I was wondering if that was ever going to get thrown away.
I just give him the fist. I give him the fist now. I'm like, yep, nope, you're not shaking my hand. We can do that, but we're not doing this.
Remember the elbow? Remember the elbow was a thing?
The chicken wing. Yeah, that drives me nuts.
That was crazy.
You might as well just wave.
Wait, I kind of like the chicken wing.
I don't like the chicken wing.
Germaphobe.
Just wave.
Just
wave. It looks weird just going like this.
Aaron Salkin, who's one of the PR guys for the Patriots, he said he never liked the handshaking thing anyway. And he said, why can't we just bow? Give it a little, like, hey,
that's nice. I like that. We should just bow. You and I should when we see each other.
Yeah, maybe later. We can try that later.
Just a bow. I like it.
You've been covering the NFL now for what, 20 years? Somewhere around there, close to there? Yeah. Has there been a crazier time, in your opinion?
No, this is nuts. From the player movement, especially some of the bigger guys, you know, with the Bradys and the Rodgers, and then obviously dealing with this COVID nonsense and people vaccinated, not vaccinated, all the different restrictions on that. I mean, this last, 18 months has been bananas.
Let's start there. Explain to us what the policy is. Is the NFL's not mandating you have to get the vaccine, right?
No, they're not.
Right. It's kind of like, hey, minicamp's not mandatory, but you better get your ass here.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I think you've seen they've sort of the memo that came out last week about we're going to forfeit games if there's a breakout amongst unvaccinated players. They basically are saying, look, last year we were a little bit more flexible. You know, if we had to add another week, we'd add another week. But, you know, like we saw last year, they basically said, we're pushing through all this stuff. We'll play on a Tuesday. We'll play on a Wednesday. You know, you played on a Sunday, you're going to play on a Wednesday. Like, we'll do whatever it takes to get it done. I think they're saying that again, but they're not giving you the safety net of, well, if it ges really bad, we'll just add another week to the season. No, if it gets really bad in your franchise, you're taking an L, and forfeits, you don't get paid. So there's a whole outcry about that from the PA. But then remember, the PA agreed to this stuff as well in writing. So
right, everything's got to be collectively bargained, right? So if they're doing that, that's something the players agreed to.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And they just probably never figured it would get that way. But now it is. So
that's what happens. That's what happens.
So this is a non-written
32 billionaires going against a few NFL players. Who's going to win Who's going to win that deal?
Right. And the law firms and the teams behind which ones are going to win. I'm guessing it's the billionaire group.
Just think about this too. Like from the player's perspective, you know, the idea of, well, I don't want to get vaccinated. Well, look, I mean, if you're at the top of the food chain, if you are, star quarterback and you say you don't want to get vaccinated, and the team just gave you a 5-year, $190 million contract, you're fine. But if you're the guy who's fighting for a job, or you're a guy on the back end of the roster who, like, from week to week, that job is in jeopardy and you're not vaccinated, I mean, they can't say that we're going to pick the vaccinated guy over the unvaccinated guy. Brandon Beane sort of said that a few months ago, the Bills GM, and got a lot of backlash for it. But that's what's going to happen.
They're going to do that.
It's smart business sense. If I can have my meetings in person, or because you guys don't want to get vaccinated and we have to do the Zoom crap all over again, like, if the talent is equal or close to equal, I'm going to take the guy that's vaccinated.
It's this. I've never seen an instance so far in sports and business where the worlds are clashing at the same time, because this is happening in offices everywhere right now too. Right? It's the office in New York, or the office in San Francisco, or Boston, wherever it is, that says, hey, you guys got to come in now. You've got people that's scattered everywhere. They get used to working from home. I mean, we're dealing with it in here where we can't be like, be here right now, like 8:30 to 5:30 or whatever it is. But it's like, hey, I think you should start to be here. Yeah. And we're seeing it happen in sports and business at the same time. So it's, I think it's all coming to a head right now is what it feels like. It's the best way for me to put it.
It's coming to a head with the second wave, or that variant that they're talking about too, which is not good timing
for germaphobe up here. Look at him squirming in his seat right now.
Just say Delta, and he's probably going to start sweating.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I did see though I get the feeling, or I get what you're saying about, hey, they're going to take the guy who's vaccinated. It's kind of we're going to take a younger, cheaper version if you're equally playing ability. But if they forfeit, I saw the owners are going to pay the other team's salary.
Wow.
Is that true?
I don't. So what my reading of it was that if there's a forfeit, nobody gets paid. Now, I don't know, to me, what happens with the owners and the TV deal and all the partners, like, hey, we're counting on 17 games. We're counting on having our time slot at 1 o'clock filled. And if it's not filled because of a forfeit, if I'm, the NFL Network, whatever the broadcast rights holder is, I'm saying, well, we signed up for X and you're giving us Y, and that's not cool. So where does that money come from?
No, but think about the other team. Let's say you're the Tennessee Titans and whatever, Pittsburgh has an outbreak. You don't get paid because someone else screwed up.
That's what I'm thinking. Imagine this situation in a hypothetical. Imagine if one roster was entirely vaccinated, coaching staffs are vaccinated, everybody, right? They're doing what everybody wants them to do. And then the team that they were playing, say they had 3 people that weren't, 5 people that weren't, and that is the team that gets the other team to forfeit.
Right.
I would be bananas.
Yeah.
You kidding me? Like, we did this and you're not going to pay me? I would go nuts.
Yeah, look, this is part of it, like laying down the hammer like this that the league is doing, is really trying to put pressure on, peer pressure from team to team, and also just from, within the locker room. Like, dude, we can't, I don't want to miss my check. I need that money. Yeah. Like, don't just go get the shot. Like, let's, and then, again, as it's been proven, you can still get COVID, but what we're seeing now, at least, in the sample size that we're getting with the Delta variant and with now a lot of people vaccinated, is it's not as severe. You know, that obviously some of the horrible stuff we saw at the beginning of this isn't really happening to vaccinated people. You're just getting a bad cold or, a flu, but you're recovering.
Yeah, I saw that John Rahm in golf just had COVID and lost out on, $1.5 million in that tournament. And then he was supposed to go to Olympics, got COVID again. And then I saw somebody on Twitter. Somebody on Twitter, though, posted underneath it, said, let me word this a different way. John Rahm got a cold. And I was like, oh, boy, it's going to be dicey for sure.
What about, in your experience, and I haven't seen this, what is the deal with people demanding trades now? I just don't get it. Like Aaron Rodgers, and now we have Watson, who's got a whole shitload of shit behind him and going on right now.
First, and it was before all that stuff happened. Remember, he was like, I'm out of here. Yeah.
Why is this happening? They signed, they're getting paid $30 million a year, $40 million a year. What the hell's going on?
I'll tell you what's going on. It's your boy.
No.
Look, I think a lot of this.
His boy. It's his boy.
And the interview match.
My boy wasn't under contract.
I just think a lot of this, though, springs from Brady and what happened. And that is to say, like, well, look, he felt like in the end he was being held down by the organization and their overall views, right? And also, hey, I've taken a lot of haircuts here, pay cuts. Mm-hmm. I want what's mine. I want to get paid like the guy that I am versus what I've done for the last 18, 19 years, which I would say that's your fault for taking it all those years, right? You took it, you set a precedent. Why would they want to change? But him moving on to Tampa, handpicking that and looking around and saying, I've got Godwin, I've got Mike Evans, mm-hmm. I can get Gronk to come with me. Oh, I can convince him to bring Antonio Brown in, and you win a championship. Now Aaron Rodgers is saying, wait, so I've been struggling with them to get me the right pieces or have more say in what goes on when we're picking players. And I've got one ring, and I'm saying to myself, well, why am I putting up with this crap? Why can't I just dictate the terms? There's going to be a team of one of the 32 is going to say, we'll let Aaron Rodgers do what Tom Brady did. We'll let him have more say, because if a happy Aaron Rodgers is playing in an elite level, as he did last year as the MVP, then, we're a Super Bowl contender, and maybe we win the championship just like Tom did with Tampa Bay.
I'm going to disagree with that. I don't think it's Brady's fault at all. And look, he wasn't under. He was not under contract. He was not under contract so he can go where he wants, right?
Oh, sure. I'm not saying that.
Tampa Bay's defense was legit the year before. They were like a quarterback away from being a really good team, and Jameis Winston was throwing 40 interceptions for them. He was just actually, and they only bring in Antonio Brown. They draft the right tackle. They draft who's the safety?
Antoine Winfield Jr.
Awful. Or he's awesome. He's a great player. Yeah. He's a stud. They draft two great rookies, and Brady's just the piece that comes in. Yeah, they bring in Antonio Brown. It wasn't the fact that he brought in all this talent around. They had it. It was how they played, especially after what were they 5-5 or 6-5?
Yeah, but just remember this. So Rob Gronkowski's not playing. He retired, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, wait. I'm only going to come back and play with Tom. Tom talks to Bruce Arians. They make that deal happen, right? So, all right, he had influence there. And obviously we saw a pretty good Gronk late in the year. He's never going to be the Gronk that we were used to seeing in Foxborough, but it's still a pretty good player. Antonio Brown, they said, no, we're not doing it. Go back and look at Bruce Arians, who was basically like, I dealt with this guy before. I don't want to deal with him again. Jason Light, the GM, they weren't doing it. And Brady stayed in their ear. And the next thing you know, you got Antonio Brown, and he's catching touchdowns in the Super Bowl. So he did have some good personnel influence. I agree with you. The pieces were already in place, but he brought more pieces in with him. I think that's what Aaron Rodgers is looking at. Like, I have Devontae Adams, but I'm throwing Alan Lazard. Fine player, but at number 4, where's Julio Jones? Give me somebody that makes this team more explosive. Now, if we're going to stay on the Rodgers topic, I would say, Aaron, you're 1-4 in NFC title games. Tom, when he gets to those games, he wins them more often than not. When you've gotten to some of these games, you've had some moments where, it's kind of hard to throw the ball with 2 hands around your neck,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're explaining the NBA, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now you're an NBA insider now, basically, because that's what the NBA has done now for a long time with big threes and super teams. Hey, let's go put this team together somewhere, right? I mean, we watched it in Boston. We watched it all over the place. With Heat.
It started with James Bosh and Wade, right? That was the one where they were talking in
Garnett,
the offseason.
Pierce, Allen.
No,
right?
but
that was before it.
Was it before?
Yeah, it's building a super team.
Was it before?
It's building of super teams. It's happening in the NFL right now. So
a little bit. It's a lot harder in the NFL to do it.
Don't blame.
What's your thoughts on Rodgers? Does it happen? Does he stay in Green Bay?
I think he's going to end up playing for them this year. Now, I think what you're seeing, and you're starting to see it floated in the last, 48 to 72 hours, is the notion of maybe, well, the best way to make this work is to have Rodgers come in and then lop off the final 2 years of his contract and allow him to be free at the end of the year. Now, if I'm Green Bay, I say the hell with that. I'm trading him. Look, you're not going to get equal value, but do I want to just let him play 1 year and walk and get nothing for it? A comp pick? Yeah, great. I'll take a 3rd-round comp pick for Aaron Rodgers. Or do I want to say, can I get 2 1s and 2 2s, or 2 1s, a 2 and a 3? I know that there's some theory out there that because whoever he gets traded to, say Denver is a team that's been attached to him, Denver's that's a pretty good football team. If they get Aaron Rodgers, that's a playoff team. Maybe that's a legit Super Bowl contender. Now you're saying, well, our 1st-round pick's not worth jack. So do I really want to do that? But would I rather take a couple first rounds from a good team and a second and a third? Or do I want to just let him play for a year and get a comp third? And, I just give me pieces, like if I can't make it work and I don't feel like being held hostage by him, give me pieces and we move on and you go to Jordan Love. And if he's not the guy, then you know what? In the draft, you start all over again. You find the next guy.
Who's going to get the scoop on that story? We're going to. This is what I like to bring up.
There are a lot of people that have placed themselves in the pocket of Aaron Rodgers. So hoping that he will. Look at the coordinated media attack, if you will, on draft night. Everybody had a piece. Schefter, Rapp, Garofalo. There was right down the line, like you name Jay Glazer, you name your NFL insider, and every one of them had a little something to add to that story. Yeah. So they were doing a nice job of spreading out the breadcrumbs, and I'm sure that's how it'll go when it finally happens.
I'm going to ask that question after every topic.
Rodgers thinks everything out. There's nothing that isn't planned. It's kind of like Brady and him throwing balls into a jugs machine.
Couldn't believe that. Was that real?
CGI, guys. Look at the end of it. There's no way that happened.
No, I don't think it's real. I don't think
really
it's real.
Hoping.
Hey,
look, I have no doubt that he could probably jam it in between those two things. I don't know that it's going to stick like that. That's just.
He's been around a long time.
First thing I asked him when I saw him this morning, I was like, "Tell me that's real. Tell me that's real."
Why is it all these insiders feel like they need to retweet what other people break and they take credit for it? That drives me nuts. It's like you open up Twitter, which is it's a great source for news, right? I like it for news.
I love where this interview's going.
I don't need to see Schefter or Garofalo or whatever the hell, or then Yates and then Matthew Berry. They all list the same goddamn news over and over again, and I don't know who did it first. They're trying to take everybody's credit.
See, this is that's the actual. There are many problems with social media, but that's one of them. Whereas, if you're Adam Schefter and you have, I don't even know how many followers he has. Let's just say he has 5 million followers. He tweets something, and even if he tweets it after, say, Rapp probably has 1 million followers, or Breer, has 500,000 followers. You tweet that, you're just going to get more mileage out of it, even if you weren't the first on the story. And a lot of those guys. Look, you get it all the time now with Rosenhaus. Rosenhaus just basically sends out a news blast to his, who's my insiders. There's 5 of them, and it's the same thing, and he sends it out. And whoever happens to be looking at their phone at that time is the one that's able to put it on Twitter first.
I wonder if they practice.
But then they're all like, well, he told me too, so I'm going to do it.
Fast they can tweet.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
They practice to get a tweet
out.
Do
you think they feel bad? I think that's like an integrity type thing where I'd be like, well, I didn't break it. I'm going to feel bad putting this out.
Well, that's why I think I had a piece of this too where I said, you always see as reported by or per sources, right? Who are the sources? like what's going on? I can say source.
We're never telling you the sources. It's funny because you'll get it sometimes. Again, this is sort of a social media conversation that happens with fans, and it'll be like, oh, tell me your source. If I tell you my source isn't going to talk to me again. That's the thing. Also, the anonymity part of all that stuff is interesting because, of course, I would much rather tell you, hey, Stephon Gilmore's going to hold out from minicamp because he wants a new contract per his agent or per Steph, right? But if I'm told, look, you can use this information, but you can't attach my name to it, then what am I not supposed to report it?
Yeah,
you just have to build up this goodwill, and you have to trust me that it's an accurate information.
But it gives you guys a license to basically write whatever you want.
Yeah, and
because all I have to do is unidentified source. And there's some guys I always like talking to you. You were one of the good guys, but I'm sure you feel the same way about some players. I don't like talking to this guy. I like talking to him as players. We liked certain reporters. We didn't like some, but it sort of gives you guys hey, I'm going to just say it's from a source and I can write what I want. There's got to be reporters like that.
Oh, I know there are.
It might have the initials MG. I don't know.
There's credibility though. They gotta their credibility goes up and down, right? With if you're wrong 5 times, all
right, I'll give you one. How many years ago was this? Welker. When Welker ended up signing with Denver. Somebody very close to Welker, who I trusted, who had given me information before, who had never been wrong, told me, no, they're closing in on a deal with the Patriots. I reported it. Dead wrong.
Yeah.
It was dead wrong.
You were wrong.
That guy used me. I never got an answer for it, but like that was the end of the relationship. I've never talked to that guy again, other than in the initial aftermath being like, what the hell? Like, why did you, why? Like you gave me information before. I used it properly.
Right.
I didn't get anybody in trouble. I didn't frame it in such a way that maybe Wes would get in trouble. And then here at the end of it, you led me down a path, and I took I beat on myself for it probably more than anyone else did, because you're like, what more could I have done? The Patriots are pretty close-lipped about everything. So I think a lot of times with them, you're having to work the other side of the street. You're having to work the player angle, and that was an instance where I got completely burned, and I'm still not over it.
Yeah, my imagination kind of takes me to a place that a source is like a janitor that like gets the trash, and like brings it to your house.
Finds a piece of paper.
Yeah, you spread it out on the floor in your garage, and you're like, I knew it, I got it. Like, but I think my imagination's wrong on that. I'm assuming it's just probably somebody in the offices.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are some people that use the janitor, and that's why I think if you're someone who cares about it and you're keeping score, like I can tell you that over the course of my career, there have been times where I've had the story and I didn't break the story because I only had one person and I didn't trust the one person fully, or that's the first or second time I've ever talked to this person and they're giving you information and you're like, I don't have a track record with this person, so I can go with it and it's great if I'm right, but if they're wrong, and again, this is sort of how I think have adjusted my the way I do business after the Welker thing, is like, I'll sit on stuff now and I'll be like, you know what? Someone can break it if it's true. And then I'll own the splash. I don't have to make the splash, but I'll own all the information from that because I have it. I'm just not going to be the one that puts myself out there because I don't have full trust in that source yet, and I think, then after, if, hey, look, 3 or 4 times in, this person keeps telling me stuff and this stuff turns out to be true and I haven't gone with it, then I'm in a place where, okay, the 5th time this person tells me something, I'm going to go with it because thus far the batting average is perfect.
Do you keep like a little notebook on that? Like that? Source,
that stuff is, I hold grudges like that.
There you go.
All that stuff is all up there.
Yeah.
The scorecard is right in the head.
There's no grudges here, though, right? We're good?
No, nothing but love.
All right, good.
What other players? You have a question? Or what other players do we want to dig into right now?
What other players? I'm waiting for him to drop a bomb.
I know. I'm kind of waiting.
This is being recorded, so you got 2 days for it to make it happen. What's going to happen next?
Exactly.
I don't. With the Patriots, the only interesting thing right now is the Gilmore stuff, right? Yeah. That's the only thing that's sort of on the front burner in terms of, he showed up for the injured players, and some people were wondering would he continue to hold out, but I think, look, that makes sense. He's still quote unquote not ready to do football activities, even though he has been doing football activities. But he's got the quad injury that he's recovering from back in December.
I've seen a lot of those quad injuries over in the offseason.
$50,000 a day.
Yeah, no, and that's same why Watson showed up, right?
Yeah, right. He wants nothing to do with the Texans.
Is he gone? But what team would touch him right now?
Yeah, that's my next guy, Watson.
That is I think that's the more fascinating one of all the big names of the Rodgers because of what's attached to it, and I think from what I've read and from what I understand, this stuff is, if it gets to court, it's not even getting to court until next year. So. Can you and the league is still investigating. So I think what you're going to have to do here is you're going to have to be able to, if you really want Deshaun Watson, you're going to have to hope that the league signs off on this in some way, shape, or form. Like, hey, look, we did our investigation. We didn't find anything. Or we did our investigation. There's this, and this. We're going to suspend him for X amount of games. But then he's free to play for whomever, he ends up with. I think, we've seen, I think it was Roethlisberger had the rape allegation. He got suspended maybe 6 or 8 games. They bumped that down to 6 or 4, whatever it was. But all right, he's going to play, but you also know you're going to have a period of time where you don't have the player. I just think truly it's going to come down to the PR. Whether you're Carolina, I know was interested before all this stuff came out. Miami had sniffed around. Philadelphia, I think, has positioned themselves to be a player in this. It's whether or not you feel comfortable with you're going to get picketed, you're going to get protested, you're going to have dirt thrown on you by columnists, etc. Like that's the way it's going to go. But you feel good enough about the player. Was this BS? Is he reformed? What are the deal here? And can you swallow that sort of PR hit? Because obviously, what's he, 25, 26?
Yeah,
he's someone who's trending to be an elite, top 6, top 8 quarterback for the next, 8, 10 years. There are a lot of teams that will line up for that. And I think eventually, if they can come to a price on this and they get the sign off from the NFL in some way, shape, or form, he's going to get moved.
Yeah. Who was the most overrated quarterback in this year's draft, do you think?
Ooh, overrated.
Like who went too early to somewhere that's going to be I texted Dan a name the other day. I texted him the Giovanni Carmazzi.
Yeah.
And you were like, what is that?
I was like, who the hell is that?
That's the GOAT guy. We talked about the GOAT, like he's a GOAT farmer now, but he get drafted above Brady to the 49ers, right? Like is there somebody in this year's draft that was way up that isn't going to pan out?
I still have questions about Zach Wilson. That was a meteoric rise, and he's number 2. And like all his workout, like I'm so tired of the whole hyping of the workout thing. Like you're in shorts and a t-shirt, like you better be able to make that throw 60 yards across your body. Like,
and you've been practicing that script for about 2 months.
Yes. So I don't get crazy about that. There's, he's a slight kid. There's not a lot to him physically. Yep. So I wonder if he'll be able to hold up. That's when I watch from maybe the top 5 that got picked. And then someone like Kellen Mond who went to Minnesota. There was some buzz from Mond. I know Brady's boy. It's not really Brady's boy. Chris Sims had Mond as one of his top 5 quarterbacks. He's a robot. If you watch him play, he's just everything is so robotic. He's like, oh, he's this great athlete. I'm like, you don't see it. You never see it. So maybe Minnesota can get him to play more fluidly, but he's someone that if you're turning the keys over to him, a year or 2 from now, I'm not sure you're going to be happy with that decision.
Do you have one that you thought that of in like your career, because you've been covering it for a long time, that you missed on the other way, that all of a sudden was like just an absolute rock star?
Oh yeah.
Is there one that sticks out?
I'm trying to think. There's because I was doing this. I was running through this in my head a few weeks ago, just about like we all form opinions on players. You talk to people, you watch whatever tape. If you're into it, you watch whatever tape you can get. But a lot of times, at least, especially I would say 5 years ago, it's very rare to find like full games on. So it's great. You can find clips. Of course, you find clips. No one's putting their crappy clips on there. They're all throwing these unbelievable plays, off platform, doing this, doing that. Like, and you're like, well, if this guy's a stud, and you're not seeing the other 30 throws that he made during the course of the game. Look, I'll say this. I thought Garoppolo was going to be a star.
Oh, you love Jimmy G.
I know.
You love Jimmy G as much as Tip loves Brady.
Yeah,
yeah. Big fan over there.
That's a perfect one. You like that? You thought, I get it. I like this.
Yeah, and like, and I still wonder if he stayed here, what it would have looked like, because I think he did a lot of things that they wanted him to do, and I think actually playing for Kyle, everybody loves Kyle's offense, and it's sort of in vogue, and there's 8 or 10 teams that have adopted some sort of that system, but Kyle wants you to throw the ball where he wants you to throw the ball to, and sort of takes away your, like, if they show you this, you're throwing it here. When they talked about Jimmy when he was here in New England, it was his ability to see, process, and make those quick decisions. Whereas I think in San Francisco, it's just like, look, I'm telling you what to do.
Yeah, it's built in.
If you don't do it. Yeah. So, I wonder, again, what it would have been like, which is why I thought maybe there was a chance that had San Francisco been reasonable, he would have found his way back here. But he's a guy, like, look, he starts. He's a starting quarterback in the league. He's got some games under his belt. But if you had told me, 5 years ago that this is what it was going to look like, I wouldn't have bought it.
No, that makes sense. What about Mac Jones, thoh?
Yes.
How do we like him?
This is why I'm excited about this one.
When you talk about, Cam Newton should not even be on the team anymore. He can't throw the ball, Mike. I'm sorry, he just can't throw it.
What's your opinion on that?
Mac Jones,
you've been in that camp for a long time.
Look, there's nothing against the guy.
No,
he just can't play, and he was great at one time, but shoulder surgeries, and he doesn't fit that offense. That's not his style. Now you bring a guy in, Mac Jones. It's of the quarterbacks that were there. Maybe Trevor Lawrence or something like that, but who was left? This guy is the perfect guy for McDaniel's offense.
If he can if he can carry over the accuracy from the college level to the pro, and look, I understand he's not going to be throwing to the same huge windows that he was throwing at Alabama, but when you talk to people around that team, when you talk to some of the scouts that watched him, some people that go way back to his high school days, like that's his strength. I mean, his brain and his accuracy, especially in the short to mid-range area. And to your point, I think that's the way they want to play offense in New England. I think
that sounds an awful lot like somebody.
What's that?
That sounds an awful lot like somebody.
People get crazy over it, and it's like, look, I'm only comparing the style in terms of how Tom made his living, how this offense was at its best. And I know there were a few years where they had Moss and they sort of, you guys changed the way you played. But when Tom is at his best, it's just destroying you with that short to mid-range stuff. Yep. It's between the hashes. It's just making the quick decisions.
Accurate, right in the bread basket.
And I think we saw, I want to say six or seven sessions this spring with Mac. And again, they're in shorts and a T-shirt. But there were times where you're like, that's what it's supposed to look like. Now, it wasn't always that way during camp, and you expect that. He's a rookie. He's still learning. They're throwing a ton of volume at him because he's shown, at least to this point, that he's been able to pick that stuff up. But, look, I keep saying week 5 is the week I would circle for Mac Jones. I know some people say get him in right away. I think Cam's going to get the opportunity to be the starter. I think he comes into camp as the starter. And, look, if he plays like crap, and there were some moments in the spring where he looked just as bad as he did last year, and if Matt continues to push that, then maybe it happens sooner. But I almost feel like feeding Cam to the Wolves in that first month is the way it's going to go. Let Cam be the starting quarterback when Tom Brady comes into town, because that's already the biggest regular season game ever. I don't know that you need Mac to be compared to Tom. That would be a huge thing. So to me, it makes the most sense. 3 of the 4 teams that they played in the first 4 games were in the top 6 in pass defense last year. So just stick Cam out there, muddle through.
So you're protecting him. You're protecting him.
I love this stuff. I love this. I love this plan.
But Bill always does what's best for the football team. Is it best for the football team Mac Jones, or is it Cam Newton? It's Mac Jones.
It might be protecting Mac Jones.
Or are we talking about long term? Because what they did last year, and was Bill just sort of planning for this year because their roster was not good last year. Now they go out and spend a little bit. They've got horses around him. Cam has to do better with the talent level, at least. And I mean, besides N'Keal Harry. And N'Keal doesn't want to be here, and they don't want N'Keal here. So that'll get rectified at some point, whether trade or release. I'm sure they're trying to get something for him, 50 cents on the dollar, if you will. Look, Cam at the very end of mandatory minicamp, the last day of mandatory minicamp, he put together, again, we don't get to see every practice, but he put together the best practice that I've seen him put together since he's been a member of the Patriots. And everything looked quicker and faster. And so to your point, like, all right, he's got the full year in the system now. There are no excuses. They gave him more pieces, even though I still think they're short at wide receiver, that let him sort of absorb the blows early on, gives you a little bit more time with Mac. And not only week 5 because of it's after the Tampa game, but week 5 because then I think from week 5 to week 12, basically every defense that they're facing from last year is in the bottom third in pass defense, or was. So, like, obviously those teams have all made improvements at some places, but like you're going into it understanding like that's a little bit of a softer part of the schedule. And maybe, you can bring in Mac and it's a bit of more of a soft landing for him and make the transition. But like I said, I think he's playing quarterback at some point this year. And to me, that's the thing that makes the most sense.
What numbers is he going to wear? Do we know that yet?
I think, he'll show up at camp as 50 again.
50
again. Carry that through.
15? Is he going to work?
I think he's going to end up being 10. 10's available. Okay. 10 was his college number. 10 was his high school number. So it's there for him.
What if he just went in there and was like, I'll take 12?
And by the way, you're starting week 5 or whatever.
It's not retired yet. It's not retired yet. Be like 12's available.
That would be bold.
That would be phenomenal, actually.
Be a big move.
I kind of like it, actually. You know what?
That'd be great.
Make the change. Oh, I don't know if you're allowed to change during the year. I was going to say year 10 until week 4, and then when it's Patriots, Buccaneers, come out, you're wearing 12.
Or just
camp.
come out for the pregame. Just a pregame in 12. You'll get fined out the ass, but it'll be worth it.
Or just come out, just the walkout, that cement walkway you guys have to like the practice fields where they're walking up a little bit with the red jersey on for practice with the 12 on. That would be all time. I would love
you
to
could
see
get away
that.
with it. That would be good.
I would love to see that. That would be fun.
All right, last topic for me is obviously Tampa Bay and the Pats regular season game, which is going to be huge. I actually think I want to watch it at home rather than going to it because I
texted
like
you that
watching.
this weekend.
I think I want to watch it at home, but I've been asked this a lot, and I know my answer. What's Bill's thought process? How did he handle last year? You know, because you've talked, you know him, you've talked to him a lot, but like, I know he's competitive. I'm pretty sure he's probably pissed that they won because he didn't win and he only wants to win. But what is his thought process on him winning with Tampa?
Yeah, I mean, look, he got asked, you know, did he talk to Brady afterwards, and he's, you know, keep the conversations private. But you know, the level of, I think they're still too into it. And there's still too much of a rivalry, if you will, between those two for him to admit, you know, he wants good things for Tom right now. And I think what they did in the offseason, you know, we can talk about the COVID and cap, and they were one of the few teams that had all this money into the cap. I've been saying this since it happened, and I'll keep saying it because I'm 100% certain this was the case. They spent all that money because they went 7-9 last year. And you want to say it's a reaction to Brady? I think it's just a reaction to being 7-9.
Oh, yeah, you don't know. I don't think they spent because of Brady. I'm just Bill's thought is how pissed is he that he won?
Yeah, I'm sure he's pissed, and I think now, all right, we loaded up again. Now let's see, you know, and if last year was just a blip on the radar, and now I found my quarterback of the future for the next decade or so in Mac Jones, like, the criticism that Bill got over the last year is going to go away pretty quickly, right? Because all of a sudden people realize, like, oh, wait, we have a rookie quarterback who's good. We have a rookie quarterback on a rookie salary who's good. We brought in all these capable guys, NFL guys. Like, we've totally remade our roster, and we boosted the talent where I think they had overvalued what they had on their roster last year. I think that was part of the problem too. And now, like, no, we've added guys that know how to play the game, guys that we can move around a little bit, you know, way more chess pieces, both offensively and defensively for Josh McDaniels, for the Belichicks and Mayo on defense. Like, this is a playoff team to me. And then depending on what you get from your quarterback, you know, they could be someone that could push the Bills in the AFC East. And if they're pushing the Bills in the AFC East, they're pushing the Kansas City Chiefs as well.
It's tough saying push the Bills in the AFC East.
I know, right?
That hasn't happened in a while.
I mean, I think, what was I, like, for 10 years, didn't we win like 20 in a row or something like that? After the 31-0 loss my first game?
Yeah, and they had some teams, like, I remember I came in with Dick Geron, former Swampscott guy, was the head coach. They gave him a new contract. They were like 3-0. They came into your place with J.P. Lossman, I believe, or Trent Edwards, one or the other, and you guys slapped them around, something fierce, and they just went sideways, and it was like, oh, they're going to fire Geron after the year, you know, after they just signed him to like a 4-year extension. But that's the thing. Like, if you think about the way the AFC East looks now, the way it's trending, you know, Brian Flores has got the program up and running in Miami. Obviously, Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have done a terrific job in Buffalo building. Like, this is the first time in a long time the Jets are the only one who turned things over.
Yeah, we'll see what Saleh does or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like there's something being built here where for years, it was every couple of years, those teams are all breaking it down. They're like, well, we're still not good enough to beat the Patriots. This quarterback can't do it. So fire the coach, get a new quarterback. Then the new GM comes in. Then he wants another new coach, then another new quarterback. That rotation happened for 20 years. And now for the first time, at least with the Bills, they have one quarterback. They have one coach. Yeah. You know, we'll see in Miami. They have the coach, whether Tua is the quarterback, you know, he's going to show us a lot this year.
Last year was not a good showing for him, and you know, coming off the injury, and you know, I mean, COVID and all that stuff. I get it, but I really do. I like what McDermott has done in Buffalo with the culture and bringing in the talent, basically through the draft, and then you go out and get Diggs, and you get some other pieces, Beasley. That's a good, solid football team.
Yeah, it really is. And they were like, you know, we talk about Tampa being the team, they're bringing back everybody. You know, they got all 22 starters back from the Super Bowl. I've been saying this. I thought the Bills had just as equally as good an offseason because Matt Milano, BC guy, linebacker, they didn't even think they were going to be able to get him back. Darrell Williams, the right tackle, had a terrific year. They didn't think they were going to be able to bring him back. They did. They swap out John Brown for Emmanuel Sanders for John Brown. Like they kept basically that core. Well, they did. They kept the core of that team together. And it's, that's a scary team. They've built something there for sure.
It's always, I mean, especially if you get to January and you've got to go to Buffalo, that is a tough place to play, especially if there's cold, there's weather. That's a home field advantage. That's what we loved about Foxborough playing at home.
I love going to the games. I loved going and watching you play at home. It was some of my most fun times.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
DeAndre Hopkins, is he going to retire? Is he going to quit?
No.
Everybody's making that noise.
Should I stop reading?
Should he just not talk anymore?
No, should I just stop reading everything on Twitter?
It's
everything I see on Twitter, I'm like, that seems like that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, it's just it's to that point. Like, okay, Leonard Fournette, was like he initially tweeted after those thing came out, the new memo, like, I don't know if I can do it. I'm not going to do it. And he admitted yesterday he's still not vaccinated, although he's still considering it. And it's like, I know DeAndre Hopkins is one of the best receivers in the league, if not the best receiver in the league. But the thing is going to keep moving, man. You don't want to play. You don't want to collect your $15 million. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yep. See you later. Somebody else will get the opportunity. And like, is the game better for not having DeAndre Hopkins in it? No, you'll miss him. But after 3 weeks, you won't even be thinking about him. You'll be, we'll be talking about Christian Kirk or Andy Isabella or, whatever the case may be in Arizona and across the league. It's like the train's going to keep rolling. I mean, Dan knows it well. Like this, you can be a great player. You can be identifiable to the fan base as a heart and soul guy. But
no one's bigger than the game. The game's pretty big. I mean, there's some big names out there, and especially with Rodgers and Watson, now demanding trades. There's a lot more of that, but there's still, the game is just way too big, and it'll keep moving on.
I saw a strength coach thing for the Pats too. One of the strength coaches wasn't going to get vaccinated.
No, Popovich, the assistant line coach.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
I think that was
a strength coach
probably.
Thing. And then Hoyer popped up on Twitter today for me, or this morning. He was talking about not getting vaccinated.
I don't think he was going to. Yeah.
Scoop! I just scooped you.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean,
And when people listen to it, it'll be 3 days old.
Who'd you give credit to?
By the way, he's going to tweet it out right now.
He's going to tweet it. This is how it works. It works.
It's crazy. Like, and it's part of my job, obviously, because it's part of what we're dealing with the season. But like, the COVID stuff makes me want to just jam my head into a plate glass window. Like, I just want to talk about football.
Yeah, it's time to go on. I want to go back. I want to watch games. I want to go in the locker room, talk to guys, and let's just
what happened on third down, man? That's what I want to know.
I feel smarter going into the season.
I feel ready.
We got Mike here, NFL Network. An actual reporter giving us actual insider information.
An actual pro telling
instead of us just making up stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I might have made up those last few things. It could have been one of those accounts that's like Patriots, but it's like the S is a Z. It's like, and I'm like, they got me.
So, the Adam Schmefter.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have a blue check mark.
I've been gotten a couple of times on that too. So it happens.
You can find you on Twitter. What's at Mike Giardi?
Mike Giardi. Yep.
We can watch you on the NFL Network all the time. Instagram. Lovely pictures of beer, probably some personal items up there.
I should have brought down. I still have the romantic photo shoot we did from Monday Night Patriots.
That was the worst.
I still have the big poster board.
That was like right into retirement. I just wanted to pull a bullet in my head. It was like, oh my God. It was so stupid.
Remember? Smile. Like I'm sitting on a... It
was right next to... it was in Boston, right next to... What the hell was that? Oh, it was... Hard Rock.
Hard Rock, right?
Yeah, right next to the Hard Rock. We did a photo shoot for NBC Sports.
He weighs like 241 pounds right now, by the way.
He's looking slender.
I don't know what's going on.
You look great, too. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good compliment.
We can talk about this before.
In the advance?
Okay. We'll get into that. But,
am I wrong? Is it like
follow
260?
Mike. Always good to talk to him. Good friend. Appreciate it. Good luck in the upcoming season. What's your favorite Gatorade color?
Ooh, orange.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
That's
fine.
2 for
Original.
Orange, by the way.
Yeah, 2 in a row for Orange. Also, I think week 5. Be ready, because we're probably going to have to bring him back week 5, see if he's ready.
I'll be ready.
He actually might be kind of busy that week, so we're going to have to work around. We're going to have to work around his schedule.
That week, look, that week's going to suck. Patriots-Bucks week is going to suck because it's just going to be from morning, afternoon, night, but whatever.
All right, we'll jump on around 11 at night.
That's fine.
Over Zoom. It'll be good.
Perfect.
All right, appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
See
guys.
See ya.
Later.
Past Our Prime is brought to you by SquadLocker. SquadLocker is your one-stop shop for custom team apparel, delivered right to your front door. Learn more by visiting squadlocker.com.